TRACEY-LEE, also known as Fitness Girl, shares her body positive journey with us and how she's learned to love the body she's in, no matter her size or shape. Welcome to The Loft, TRACEY-LEE.
Thank you so much for having me. It is so great to be here.
Now, girl, we all go through various body seasons, and I love how you are open and honest about your own body journey. So tell us about how you've become body positive, how it all began for you, and how do you feel about your body now?
Wow, yeah, no, that is it's a long-winded question, so I'm going to try and keep it as brief as possible. For anyone that actually knows me or does follow me, I am the typical woman that has struggled with her weight her entire life, has been caught up in a cycle of yo-yo dieting for as long as I've probably been alive. But it was only very recently after starting my account in 2016, about 2 years in, that I discovered this notion of what body positivity really was. And I think for most of my life, I definitely wasn't body positive. I was losing weight for all the wrong reasons, and never really, it was always aesthetic. It was never really about health for me. And I think that's the biggest change from the years of dieting to look a certain way and to be valued by sort of a number that I see on the scale versus today where the health is sort of the center of everything. And as long as my body is functioning healthily and optimally, to me, that is what being body positive is all about.
Absolutely. I think that we have to try run away from this perfect physique because firstly, who's to say what perfect is, how it looks like, and who's to say one is more perfect other than the other? So I'm so glad that, Tracy, you are walking the talk here. Now, please also explain to me about bed cycle. How do you snap out of it and what motivates you?
So it's only been very recently that I've started opening up about bed. And for those viewers who don't know what bed is, it's the acronym for binge eating disorder. Binge eating disorders can come in various sort of shapes and sizes, if I could call it that. Specifically for me, I've suffered with something called non-purging bulimia, which is where I'm not a bulimic in the sense that it all comes up, but I sort of keep it down and I'd go through these binge rage cycles where I could gain easily 10 kilos in the space of a month just because of the cycle. When the cycle rears its head, disaster strikes essentially. And it's been like that my entire life, which is why I've yo-yoed my entire life, because I've either been on a cycle where I'm gaining an excessive amount of weight or I'm losing an excessive amount of weight. And it's very, very black and white. There was never any maintenance that I could do whilst having a disorder such as my own.
Yes, when you find yourself in these situations, a lot of people find it quite hard to snap out of that cycle and bounce back even more motivated than before.
Absolutely. And I think for me, what really saved me, especially this time around, because this isn't the first rodeo, I always say it's Fitness Girl Journey 2.0, because for those of you who have been along on the journey for the past 4 years, I did have an incredible weight loss success in 2017 and 2018. But due to life commitments and career stress, and bad eating habits, it did all come back. So I think for me, the one thing that really did save me was learning more about what body positivity really was, and that it's not, your happiness and your worth isn't derived, by the value that you place on your external. It really starts inside. So I had to do a lot of mental work in order, which then basically, superseded into sort of the disordered eating. And that was something that I could then address once I'd done the internal work of valuing myself for me and not for aesthetically what I would look like in the mirror.
So then how does your fiance and your support system play a part in all of this? You have spoken about this inward journey, but how does the outside support system play a part?
Oh, it's so important to have a support system. I've always been supported my whole life. I come from a great family. I've been with my fiance for over 10 years now. And I mean, he's been through everything with me. And I think at the end of the day, he's never put pressure on me. He's never, wanted me to look a certain way. He was just really focused on, if I was truly happy and healthy, which I think, is obviously why I'm marrying the guy. So, it's a great relationship. And he's also gone on his own, could I say, fitness boy journey the last 3 years and is also doing amazing. So now it's become something that we do together, and it's just made us a lot stronger as well.
I also believe that, a couple that does stuff together, they find those bonding moments, whether it's in the kitchen, in the gym, or in prayer, whatever you believe in. It definitely makes for a stronger couple. Now, speaking into your career, you're also a curve model. Now, were you reluctant at first to do that? And how has body shaming affected you?
Okay, so my whole life, you can imagine, I never ever thought of myself as a model. But I see now that, where the industry is moving, there has been so much more diversification in the modeling industry. So I thought this was a great way for me to, inspire others and to basically show, other women who look like me that, anything is possible and you can be a model. Like, this is not a club reserved for, only certain size girls. I think it's really great that the industry has moved in, in the way that it has. And I think for me, the biggest thing was, again, like I said, just representation and showing, the women who are my size that, it's, you are represented.
And you are cute, honey. I'm so glad that the young girls growing up, when they see you on TV or follow you on social media, they can say, hey, there is a shining light that looks just like me and I'm fabulous regardless. And on that note, what are the main things that women can do to remain body positive?
I think definitely when you wake up in the morning and you look in the mirror, it's about complimenting yourself. It's about expressing self-love. It's about, affirmations. And it sounds like it's so cheesy, but it really, really can. It really works. The first thing most women do when they wake up in the morning is they fiddle with their stomach rolls or they tug at their arms. And that's just not good. So for me, I'd say my morning affirmations: I'm brave, I'm strong, I'm fiercely made, and I'm capable, and I'm beautiful, of course. So I definitely think self-affirmations, is a definite, and just practicing more self-love. I feel like, things that we say to ourselves, we would never say to our closest friend or even our child. So why do we say them to ourselves? So I think that's really, it's just about, doing the mental work, as I've said previously as well.
Well, thank you so much, Tracey, because we appreciate this message. I say it all the time here, and the ladies in the kitchen also rally behind it. It's all about what we tell ourselves and the things we feed the brain of our garden, that watering that we do daily. I'm so glad that you've reminded us to keep up with those affirmations and to make sure that we're doing the inward work as well as the outward work. Goodbye, Tracey. You're the best. All the love to that fiance.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
We thank you, Tracey, for sharing your inspiring journey with us. And as the saying goes, loving yourself is the greatest gift of all. For more tips and body inspiration, follow TRACEY-LEE on her social media.